types. Among that, we discussed about numerical data types over. Numerical data types over. Are you getting my voice? Hello?
Sure.
Yeah. Now today we are going to discuss
Yes,
about
sir.
floating point data types. Here we have to understand what do you mean by floating data. So what do you mean by floating data? What do you mean by floating data? Right. Last class we have discussed about numerical data types. Now we are going to discuss about floating point data types. So what do you mean by floating data? Floating data. So what do you mean by floating data? Neha, what do you mean by floating data?
Which has a fraction part.
Yeah. A number which is having fractional part. A number which is having fractional part will be called as floating data. Example for floating data. Example for floating data is, can you give me some examples of floating data, Neha? Can you give me the
10.5,
examples of floating data? Come on, tell me.
10.5,
Right, 10.5
Float.
and 20.4. This is called floating data. Means a number which is having fractional part will be called as floating data. Okay. So again, one important point, 1 minute, one important point you have to remember, that is one important point you have to remember, that is note is floating point data types. Floating point by default floating point data types are signed. Signed means which will allow positive value and negative value. So no, we don't have any unsigned we don't have any unsigned floating point data types. We don't have any unsigned floating point data types. So the point here it is, come on, Vinil, you tell me, what do you mean by floating point data?
The data which is represents in the fractional
A
point.
number which is having fractional part will come under floating point data. What do you mean by floating data? Example 10.5, 10.4, all these things.
10.5.
And your note is what? What is this note? What did you understand in this note? Come on, tell me. What did you understand in this note?
Floating point will have only the sign. Sign means the positive value and negative values.
Means by default, floating point data types are signed. By default, floating point data types are signed. Means there are no unsigned floating point data types. Means which can contain both positive values and
Both
negative
positive and
values. Unsigned
negative.
means which will contain only positive values.
Positive. And
So
positive.
again, according to the sizes, according to the sizes, according to the sizes, according to the size, according to the size. Wherever you have noise, mute yourself. Don't give me the chance to ask to mute. Okay, you are the right person to mute yourself if there is a disturbance. Don't disturb the class. According to the size, floating point data types are classified into three types. Number one, float. Number two, double.
Double.
Number three,
Decimal.
decimal. Number three, decimal. According to the floating point data, according to the sizes, floating point data types are classified into three types. Float, double, decimal. Float means 4 bytes, 4 bytes size memory, and
Eight bytes.
double means 8 bytes. Now decimal
16
means,
bytes.
come on, guess 16
16.
bytes. So what is the lowest size data type here?
No.
Float, medium, double. Highest big
Decimal.
data type in floating is what? Decimal. So here what exactly you know? Whenever you have small amount of floating data, go with float. Like want to store student marks, M1, M2, M3, M3, M1, M2, M3 subject marks. Like out of 100 he scored 90, so better float. And person weight, person height, weight 60.5, 70.73, for 80, 90, like that, float. And person height 5.8, 5.6, 6.2, float. Double is you can use double for salaries. 8 bytes na 8 into 8. Yeah, 64 bits. So that you can use for salaries. Decimal you can use for huge amount of floating data. We'll discuss one by one, then you can understand. Coming to the float, first category is float. First category is float. Predefined size of predefined size of float is float is 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 4 into 8, that is 32 bits of floating values. So if you declare a float variable which will accommodate 4 bytes memory, that is equivalent to 4 into 8, 1 byte equal to 8 bits, 32 bits of floating. Okay, and next we have to discuss base type of float is, can you guess?
System dot single.
System dot, okay, now you see float, you type float in your code window, then you can see float base type is system dot single. System dot single. So by this we can say the base type is system dot what is that? Single. System dot single is the base type for float. Okay, now next min value, max value not required to check again. 4 bytes, 8 bytes, 16 bytes. Small amount you go with float. Let's see one example with the float. For float, one variable example we'll discuss. Float a equal to 4.5. Float a equal to 4.5. Valid or invalid?
Valid. No, invalid.
Yeah. Right. So float, yeah. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Yeah. Here you can observe one thing, that is variable name is a. Variable name is a. Data type is float. Now even the RHS type is also floating data. But even though, is it valid or invalid?
Invalid.
It's showing error. You can observe
Yeah, yes.
error. Why you are
Yeah.
getting, we have to check. Let's compile the program then. Let's compile the program. Sai, are you getting Sai? Getting voice?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
yeah,
I'll talk to you end of the session. Just observe the class. Okay. So if you have
yeah,
from your side, if any disturbance, just mute. I think some noise is coming from your
yeah.
side. Any disturbance in your place?
Okay, yeah. There's a lot
I
of
think
disturbance.
that's why mute yourself. You mute yourself. Right. And you can compile the program. Now you can see what is the error here. What is the error here? Okay. Now when you compile, you are getting some error. Generally, whenever we will get error, we will scare. And when I was doing MCA, if there is error, I was restarting the mission. And sometimes I will shut down the mission. I went to home. But actually, as a programmer, we should do friendship with errors. Okay, copy and paste into Notepad and read the error message. Read the error message like a love letter. Okay, right. Now you see literal of type error message. You read the error message now. Literal of type double
Double.
cannot be implicitly. All of you guys, you read the error message yourself 3 times, which I circled with red marker. You read yourself error message 3 times. Right. Have you gone through it? Come on. Now, yes. Renuka, come on, tell me what is the error message? Read it once.
Literal of type double cannot be implicitly converted to type float. Use an F suffix to create a literal of this type.
Literal of this type. What is the meaning of this? Anybody can explain why we are getting this error?
Into float. Why? Because we have to use a suffix f.
No, forget. I'm not asking the solution. I'm asking why you are getting this error. Reason for the error. Reason for the error. Right. Right. So literal of type double cannot be converted to type float means the reason is actually here LHS RHS. Right. LHS is a variable. Type is float. RHS is value. Value type is what you know. Value type is what you know. Double. The value type is
Double.
double. Why?
Double.
Because value type is double. Because by default in C#.NET, floating data type is double. By default, the floating data type is actually the type is treating by the compiler as double. But the double value you are assigning into float variable. So it is a mismatch. Due to that reason, it is clearly telling that if you want to assign this data, use F suffix, means postfix, either capital F or small f. You see, now you can see the error overcome. Now you can see RHS, you can keep on RHS your data, then simply it is showing that it is a type of single. Single is the base type of float. It treats it now it is float and RHS float and LHS float. That's why we don't have any issues. So or else you can do like this. Float B equal to 5.6 capital F, either capital F or small f. Then you don't have any issue. This is the story. By default, C#.NET in C#.NET floating data type is double. The double value whenever you are assigning into float variable, you should postfix with small f or capital F. Okay, so that is a story, right? Next to, yeah, I have a question to all the people. Float, float b equal to, float b equal to 10 point, 10 point, float b equal to, okay, that is okay. Next to, we'll see some real-time variables. And before that, I have a question. Float b equal to minus 4.5f is valid or invalid?
Valid.
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 Why? Because it is a signed
It is a
data
sign.
which can assign
Signed data type.
positive value as well as negative value. So next
Negative.
question is a real-time example for float, real-time variable for float. So you can say smallest floating data means person weight, float height, otherwise height, HIGHT height equal to 5.8 F, and float person weight equal to 78.5 and F. In these examples, you can use like student marks. Whenever there is a small amount of floating data, go with a variable called float. Go with a variable called float. Right. Next, yeah, we have to see another data type called double. Coming to the double. Predefined size is 8 bytes. 8 into 8 equal to 64 bits. Base type is base type is base type is let's check the base type is double base type is system dot double.
System.double.
System.double. You can observe here D is small, here D is capital. And before that I have a question. C#.NET is a case sensitive language or not case sensitive language?
It is a case sensitive.
Case sensitive language. For example, into A equal to 10 into A, or else into A equal to 10, and console dot write line capital A.
Error.
Error.
Any problem?
Error, sir.
Error.
Error, yes, sir.
Because you are initialized value into small a, you are trying to print it as a value with the help of capital A. Immediately, compiler will generate an error. What is error? The name A does not exist. Capital A does not. You didn't declare capital A. You declared small a. That's why compiler is giving an error, because it's proving that your language called C#.NET is a case sensitive language. Remember this point. According to that, just now we discussed about a double system.double. Double base type is CTS, or base type is system.double. You can identify the difference here. D is small, here D is what? Capital. Remember this point. Okay, base type is system.double. Base type is system.double. Over. Right. Now let's see some examples, normal examples in double. Double A equal to 4.5. Come on. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid. Now 4.5 is actually what type of data?
Double.
Default. It is a floating data. This floating data default type in C# is what you know. You can observe the intelligence. It is telling I am double. Double value are assigning into double variable. So any problem?
No.
No, sir.
No, that's why you don't require to worry. Okay. Now my question is, what is the default type of floating data in C#?
Double.
Double.
Double, sir.
Double. Okay, right. Next I have a question. The question is byte A equal to 10. My question is 10 is what data?
Numerical.
Numerical data. But what is the 10 type? Because if you'll take LHS or RHS, 10 type should be what? 10 type. Default it will have some type. What? There are 8 numerical data types are there. 4 plus 4. Among 4 plus 4, what is 10?
Unsigned.
No. Here you are not understanding my point. You take any data, it will have default type. 10, 10.5. My question is, 10 is what? 1 minute. 10 is what? Data. 10.5 is what? Data. In C#.NET, 10 will be coming under which type data?
Double.
Double. Why? Default type of floating data. It is floating data. But floating data default type is in C# double. Default type.
Double.
What about 10 is what data? Numerical data. But default type of numerical data in C# is into. Into. Remember this point. Now 10 type is into. You can observe. System dot into 32. Into base type is into 32. 4 bytes. 4 into 8. 32 bits. Okay guys. Now that into type data you are assigning into byte variable, even though it is not giving an error, because compiler is supporting this. Remember that point, but it will be part of a topic called typecasting. It is a part of a topic called typecasting, which will be the next topic. But up to that you have to remember one point, that is the point which you have to remember is default data type of numerical data. What is the default type of numerical data in C#? Please answer into. Second question. What is the default type of floating data? Is what?
Double.
Double. Is what? Double. Over. Story is completed. Right. Next to come back to our discussion. Yeah, let's see the real-time variable for double. Real-time variable for double real-time variable. Generally, we can go with sal, esal equal to 1000, 10,000, like this. Better to go with a double. Okay, na? Right. Next, come back to our discussion. Decimal. Decimal means what is a predefined size? Decimal predefined size is what?
16 bytes.
Hmm? Right. Decimal predefined size is what? 16 bytes.
128 bits.
16 into 8.
8.
16 into 8. 16 into 8. How much?
128.
128.
128 bits. 128 bits.
Bits.
Okay. Now base type is base type of decimal is decimal base type is
System.decimal.
system.decimal. Base type is system.decimal. Here D is small, here D is capital. System.decimal. Okay, right. Next to next base type is system.decimal, and and let me check the decimal example. Right, decimal a equal to 100.5. Valid or invalid?
Saying invalid error is
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, right. Shravya, why it is invalid? Right, now,
Because 100.5 by default is double and we are assigning it to decimal.
no, again, repeat what you said.
100.5 by default is double value which you are assigning it to a variable which is decimal.
Very good answer, very good. Default type is double, but we are trying to assign into decimal. So, decimal variable, that's why it's showing error. Now let's see, Babu, compiler, tell me how to solve this problem. Then compiler is giving a user-friendly error message. Copy and paste into your notepad. Read that error message. Literal of type double cannot be implicitly converted to type decimal. Use an M suffix to create this type. Okay, so what it is telling, Babu, postfix with M whenever you want to declare it as a decimal, either small m or capital M. Decimal b equal to 200 capital M. Okay, now we don't have any issues like that. You can see 100. This is now decimal. This is now decimal. You can see now this is decimal. This is decimal. 100 point and sorry, 200.6 M, capital M or small m. Compilation, no error, rebuild succeeded, like that. Okay, so that is a story. Next, real-time variable for decimal. Real-time variables for decimal. Real-time variables for decimal. Real-time variables for decimal. Come on.
Population.
Yeah. You can give so many examples here. What is that? Country budget or bank
Bank
balance,
balance.
especially bank balance. You can go with decimal. Bank bal, and let's say decimal. Company profit, and country budget, and ocean depth. Okay, company profit and country budget. This type of huge amount of any floating data, you can declare it as what, decimal. Okay, right. That is the story about float, double, decimal. Now next data types are what you know. Third category is till the time we completed
Character related.
character related data types. Third one is character related data types. Character related data types. In this character related data types, we have only one category. That is nothing but char. That is nothing but char. Char predefined size is char
X.
predefined size is 2 bytes.
So
Char predefined size is 2 bytes. Before that, let's see the char examples. Then you will get somewhat idea. Char char x equal to char x equal to a char x equal to a. Okay, char x equal to a. Right. What is that? You know, here a is what, x is what.
String value.
X is the variable, a is the data. Char data should enclose it with single quotes. Char data should enclose it with single quotes. Now char y equal to ab. Char y equal to ab. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid, sir.
Valid,
Valid.
valid. Let's compile the program and see the error message. Too many
Okay.
characters in character literal. Moral of the story is a char variable can contain only single character. Okay.
Yes.
Now, valid or invalid?
Valid.
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 Valid, because
Valid.
char within the single quotes you can have alphabets, you can have numerical. What about special character? Can we?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You can have numerical, alphabets or special characters. What about space?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir.
We don't have
Yes.
any problem. Anything within the single quotes, but single. Okay. Now next, that is the story. And carry data should enclose it with what I said, single quotes. Now, can you guess what is a predefined size of char?
2 bytes.
2
2
bytes.
bytes.
2 into 8 equal to
16
16
bits.
bits.
16.
16 bits. Here the point is, now immediately you should get one doubt, guys. I am guessing your doubt. Now anybody, sir, my doubt is, come on. You should get
We
doubt.
can have
Not
only
coming
one.
doubt means no doubt you are not concentrating the class.
so only single letter why we are
Right. The
Variable.
doubt, I
single
know
letter.
what doubts you are getting. That's why I use it to say, don't worry about doubts. Right. The doubt is, Sai, you tell doubt. Sai, new student. Sai, can you speak for 1 minute? Hmm. Yeah. What is your doubt here?
Character is a single character, right? So
Yeah.
it's not a
Right.
string. So it's a character.
Sorry.
Not a string. It's a character. So it's a single, single character, single letter.
Right. Why we
Without.
need 16 bits memory for the single character? Are you sure that is the question? Am I sure? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. I'm muting you again. I think no disturbance. You can unmute. You can keep like this. Right. My question is,
No,
yeah,
no.
same
Actually,
question
it
you
is
may
very
get. That
long.
is, how a single character, why single character? To store the single character called A, B, A or B or 1, why we need 16 bits memory? The problem with this is, whenever you are storing A, it will not store A into the memory. Instead of A, it will store concern ASCII value of the A. Means A will not store into the memory, because computer can understand only what is it, what data,
Exactly.
binary data. So what will happen, actually what is happening, zeros and one binary means. If you say whenever you declared a variable called like this A, what will happen? Char X means first what will happen? A will be converted into ASCII value. ASCII value. A ASCII value, for example, 97. And 97 is the ASCII value of A, for example, small a. 65 is capital A, for example. Then that ASCII value will be converted into hexadecimal called binary data, called zeros and ones. Ones, 0, 1, 1, like that. So this is called hexadecimal conversion. Whatever value called A, which we assign into char variable called X, will be converted into, first will be converted into ASCII value. ASCII value to, it will be converted into binary data called zeros and ones. This is called as hexadecimal conversion. So finally, highest, every key of your keyboard, every character from your keyboard will be representing with one ASCII value. Highest ASCII value hexadecimal conversion required minimum 16 bits because it is converting into zeros and one combination, binary conversion. So that highest ASCII value can accommodate within the 16 bits memory. Due to that reason, for safe side, they have declared the predefined size as 2 bytes, nothing but 16 bits it can accommodate. That is the story. And next, base type is, base type of char is, you can observe the screen, system.char. This is C is small and this is me is what? Capital. Right. That is a story. Right. Next to, next to, And let's see, already we have seen examples for char, we don't require to worry. Next, fourth category is logical data types. In logical data types, we have only one category, that is called bool. That is called bool. Bool variable can contain either true value or false value. Bool variable can contain either true value or false value. True will be storing into memory as binary 1. False will be storing into memory as binary 0. Binary 1, binary 0. Okay, so that is the story. Means bool variable can contain either true value or false value. Let's say bool a equal to true. A equal to 2 means into memory it will be stored not true. It will be stored as what? 1. Which one? Binary 1, not numerical 1. My question to you all the people, what is the predefined size of bool?
One bit, sir.
One bit.
One bit.
One bit.
Sorry?
One bit.
One bit.
1 bit. Excellent answer.
So
Right,
it's
you are right. Predefined size is 1 bit only because bool variable can contain either true or false. True is storing as 1 and false is storing as 0. So
zero.
don't repeat more than that. 1 bit is enough. Yeah, let's see. The base type of bool is system dot boolean. System dot boolean is the base type. System dot boolean is the base type. Okay. Now, next some examples we'll see. Some examples are now bool a equal to false. Right or wrong? Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid. Next, bool a equal to true. True. Valid or invalid? Valid.
Valid.
Bool a equal to true. Now,
Invalid.
Valid.
Invalid.
why? Because now double quote
Right.
true is
Data.
not bool data, it is a string data.
String
Next,
data.
bool a equal to 1.
Valid.
Invalid.
Invalid. Invalid.
Invalid.
Think twice and thrice. It's valid.
Invalid.
No, sir.
Valid.
Is a hint that
Valid or invalid? Come on.
Invalid.
Invalid.
Invalid. Why it is invalid?
Because 1 by default.
one by
Not one is not binary one. One is what?
yes,
One integer, numerical one.
integer. Yes, yes.
It cannot contain numerical data. It can contain only either true or false. And other one is what I am telling you, true will be stored in the memory as binary one. Okay, you can't assign one here. True will be stored in the memory as binary one. Okay, so you have to assign only true or false. That is the story about this, and base type is system dot boolean. Now, so till the time we discussed about 4 categories, just one round, make it one round all of you. Just go through yourself. I'm giving 2 minutes time. Your book page number, page number, page, Aditya, your side completely I'll mute you till end of the course. Better. Right. Page number is
21.
what is that? 17, huh?
21, sir.
21.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. Go through this. Go through yourself. All of you. Next we'll discuss with the category. Come on. Like anything, you are able to deliver in front of all the people now. I am randomly, I'll ask one person to explain all the 4 data types. Right. So prepared all of you? Yeah, guys, prepared, huh? Right. So we'll discuss I'll ask you the question. After we'll discuss the 5th category. 5th category is what? 5th category?
General data type.
Data types. General data types. Okay. 5th category is general data types. Uma, are you following classes properly?
Yes, sir.
You're rocking. I'm telling about you to all the people in my Hyderabad classes, because
Thank you,
it's
sir.
really challenging. I told about you in my Hyderabad trainings, right? Who are having 20 years gap and now you are switching into IT industry. Great. And your background is BCom, right? BSc, yeah?
Yeah, no, sir. BCom MSc.
BCom?
MSc.
Okay. And Seventy, are you following?
Yes, sir.
No problem. You were that time your Krishna, na, husband name. Krishna was scaring you to whether you can learn or not. Now you are following Krishna, right? Sai Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna. Hi, Krishna.
Sai
Yes.
Krishna. Now are you how you are writing understanding programming?
Yes, sir. I'm writing.
BCom, right? You also
Become MBA.
become MBA. Great. Seven.
Yes, sir.
Are you okay now?
Yes, sir. I'm following.
Your graduation is
Hospitality management.
very good. I want see any type of graduate can become a software engineer. I want to prove that because in Hyderabad I have done so many people are like that. Right now BSc nursing, NIMS nurse, one nurse is attending classes. She is writing coding like anything. Okay. When she entered into the class, she don't know except Gmail and Facebook. Now she is writing ADO.NET programming like our remaining people. Okay, fine. Come back to our discussion, general data types. Okay. Uh, yes. In general data types, we have two types, guys. Two types. Number one is string. Number two is object. Number two is object. And before discussing these two categories, I'm telling you one important notice. All these data types called 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, all these 5 are called as primitive primitive
Data types.
data types. Primitive data types. Primitive stands for primitive means predefined. All these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 called numerical, floating point, character related, logical, general data types are called primitive data types in C#.NET. Tomorrow in some interview, if the people will ask you, explain about primitive data types, you people have to explain about these 5 categories. But one important point is, among all these, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 are having
Size.
predefined
Define.
sizes.
Size.
Predefined sizes. But fifth category, that is general
General.
data types, will not have predefined sizes. We don't have predefined sizes for general data types. General data types are nothing but string and object. Everybody go through it for 1 minute. Repeat, repeat. Right. So, yeah. So, now, Shravan, come on, tell me, what is this? Note,
1, 2,
note,
3,
note.
4, 5.
Hmm.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. All these data types are called primitive data types
Hmm.
in C#.
Primitive means,
Among all
primitive means
primitive means which are predefined.
predefined by
C#,
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Among all these 1, 2, 3, 4 are having predefined sizes.
Hmm.
But fifth category, which is called general data types, will not have any predefined sizes.
Very good. Okay. Now coming to the string and the object. Already we are working with string. Base type of string is base type of
System dot
is
string.
okay. String base type is system dot string.
System
Here
dot string.
S is small. Here S is capital. Okay. Now right next to yeah examples. Example string S equal to Rama. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
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 Valid. Next string S2 equal to Rama 123.
Valid.
Valid, sir.
First of all, you should remember string data should be enclosed with double quotes.
With double quotes.
String S3 equal to 123. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid.
Valid. String S4 equal to string S4 equal to 10.5.
Valid,
Valid or
sir.
invalid?
Valid.
Valid.
Valid. String S6 equal to Rama @ 123. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid, sir.
Valid.
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 Valid. Okay.
Valid.
Next, string S7 equal to double quotes, empty double quotes. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid,
Valid.
sir.
Valid.
Valid. Empty. Valid means empty string. What is the
Interesting.
observation with all these 8 examples?
It's
It
double
doesn't
quote,
have
sir.
any
Yeah,
predefined.
enclosed
The
within the
data
double
Within
quote.
the double quotes,
double
you
quotes.
keep any data, even though it is space also, it is called as what? Treating as what? String.
String data.
That
String data.
string data can contain alpha, bits, numerics, floating, alpha, numeric, special, and floating. Whatever you want, you keep. Okay, that is a story about string. Right. Next category is what you know, object.
Okay.
Object. What is a predefined for string, Shravya?
Predefined system dot string.
No. My question, predefined size.
There is no
Size.
defined
There
string,
is
sir.
no
Size.
different size for general data types.
Very good. General data types will not have any predefined sizes. Now coming to object. Base type is
System dot object.
System dot.
base type of object is what? What is the base type of object? Come on.
System dot.
That object
System
is
dot
not
object.
System dot object.
Object. System dot object is the base type. System dot object is the base type. Okay, right. That you have to write here. O is what? Capital. O is a capital. Okay. Now is system dot object. System dot object is the base type. Okay, guys. Next to right. System dot object is the base type. Okay, right. Next to yeah. Now next, come on. Let's see the examples. Examples for object. Object A equal to 10. Valid or invalid?
Valid, sir.
Valid.
Valid.
No issues. Valid. Object B equal to 10.5.
Valid.
Valid,
Valid.
sir.
Object C equal to Rama.
Valid.
Valid, sir.
Valid. Object D equal to A.
Valid, sir.
Valid. Object E equal to true.
Valid.
Valid. Valid. Numerical, floating, string, character, bool. Then what is the observation?
Any type of data can be represented in this object.
Right. Here
The
point
object
is object variable can contain any type of data.
type of data.
Right. Any type of data. Repeat, Shiva, what is the observation? Shiva, what is the observation?
Any data type we can take it as an object.
Any type of data can be accommodated within the object variable. So interviewer will ask a question. Why object type variable can contain any type of data? You try this by tomorrow. You come with the answer. What is the reason? Behind this, what we have, what concept we have behind this, you check it. Okay, guys. So that is a story. And come back to yes, just 2 minutes. Go through the complete concepts, all of you. 2 minutes. Go through the complete concepts, and you people have to explain now. What explain 5 categories now totally. We have 5 categories. 5 categories you have to explain now. Come on. Right. Go through the 5 concepts. Come on. Right. Okay guys, come on. Who can explain total data types? Overall one just repetition. Who will take the responsibility? I can explain.
So I can explain.
Vanilla, come on, carry on, Vanilla. Okay, let's start with Vinil. I'll stop him in a moment. Next, I'll transfer to Sami. Come on, Vinil.
Numerical data type, the data which represents the form of numbers.
Like this. According to type of the data, C#.NET data types are classified into 5 types. You list 5 like that.
Okay. Data type defines the type of data and size of the data. In C#.NET, according to the data types, they are classified into five types: numerical data type, floating point data type, character related data type, logical data type, general data type.
Okay, wait. Now, Sami Khan, you explain about numerical.
Yeah, numerical data is nothing but which doesn't have a floating value or a decimal value in it. Again, numerical data are classified into 2 types: signed and unsigned.
First one
signed
is
data type is nothing but which can accommodate.
First one is
signed. Signed numerical data.
Unsigned. What do you mean by signed?
Unsigned numerical data.
What do you mean by signed?
Signed numerical data is nothing but which can accommodate a positive and negative value. It can take both positive and negative values.
Yeah. How many these are classified again? Signed are classified again into how many types?
These are classified into 4 types.
According to size.
4 types.
Size. According to size. First
according to the sizes.
No, wait. Now, who are going to continue? Uma, carry on.
Yeah, it's divided into, according to the size, it's divided into 4, classified into 4 types: as byte, short, in, and long.
Short. Number 3.
In and long.
Long. What is a S byte predefined size?
It's a 1 byte. So
short.
It's
2 bytes.
2 bytes.
Into
4 bytes.
Oh. And int is 4 bytes, long is 8 bytes.
Now, write 7. Explain about unsigned.
Unsigned.
The data has only positive values.
Only positive values. According to the sizes, again classified how many types?
4 types.
4 types.
A.
Height, U short,
A. Come on. B.
U short.
U short. C.
U int.
D.
U long.
D. U long. D. U long. Okay. What is the byte predefined size?
1 byte.
1 byte.
U short.
2 bytes.
U int.
4 bytes.
D. U long.
8 bytes.
Right. Now, Shiva, explain about floating point data types.
The data which is having a floating point.
Now, Neha, explain about floating point data types. Yeah, Shiva, continue.
Floating point data type.
Ah,
Floating point data types, there are only signed.
only
We don't
some.
have any unsigned floating point data types.
How many are these?
They are classified three types.
Float,
Hmm.
First one is float, second
Hmm.
one is double, third one is decimal.
Float predefined size.
4 bytes.
4 bytes.
Double.
Double, 8
8
bytes.
bytes.
8 bytes.
Decimal.
16.
Decimal, 16 bytes.
bytes.
Now, Neha, explain about character related data types.
Character-related data types contain a single character. They
Only
have
one
to
data
be,
type, that is called char. Which can, what is the predefined size?
and they should be
2
enclosed
bytes.
with,
Predefined size,
it's 2 bytes.
2 bytes. Now, yes, now, okay, right. Renuka, explain about logical types.
There is only one data type in logical data types, that is bool,
What is the predefined size?
1 bit.
1 bit. Now, yes. Now, Urmil, explain about general data types.
General data types are string and an object.
Two types.
There are
Two types.
two types of general data types.
Number
one
one,
is string and other one is object.
string, and two is what? Object. Right,
Okay.
very simple, guys. Task for you is prepare short notes on data types and send to my mail ID. Okay, handwritten short notes, scan it and send to my mail ID before you are going to bed. Okay, thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.